Hello and welcome. I am Laura Mazaganek, and in this video I want to share with you about EFT, or commonly known as tapping. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and I discovered these really fabulous tools about 12 years ago. When I first discovered it, I was really thrilled, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So I want to tell you that as a psychotherapist and a wealth and success coach, I've always been looking for the tool that would actually help my students and clients in releasing the negative beliefs or blocks that interfere with their progress into achieving their goals. See, how I discovered that EFT is incredibly gentle and at the same time very efficient and incredibly empowering, which is something that I'm all about, right? So how it works is that I'm going to tell you that to give you a little bit of history. And most people have heard about the stress response in the body, right? Is the fight, flight, or freeze response. When something really intense happens, there's a part of our brain that is called the amygdala that tends to get overwhelmed and kind of shut down. And it takes us into these like very primal response of like we're fighting, we're flying, we're going away, or we're freezing. And EFT, what it does is just releases that, it neutralizes that response. It releases the stress response in the nervous system, allowing us to experience those emotions from a very relaxed place. So we can actually release the resistance that is actually, or is the same as the blocks that interfering with you making progress. So it's an incredibly powerful, very simple, and very empowering tool that in a gentle way addresses again those blocks and beliefs that interfere with you actually taking the inspired action that is going to help you achieve your goals. And this is how it works. We're going to be tapping, that's why it's called tapping. And tapping, I'm talking about like making gentle but very simple tapping motions on several points in our body. And I'm going to actually go from the top of the body to the bottom because that's going to be, it's easier to remember, right? So I'll share with you that the first one is at the top of the head. And it's actually, if you actually put your thumbs inside your ears and you make like a little headband right at the top, that would be the place. You can actually use a few fingers. I tend to use my flat hand like this, because then if you miss a little bit, you're always getting that point. And that's our first point, and it's called the crown, right? The top of the head or crown. The second point I'm going to show you is the beginning of the eyebrow, and it's exactly that. It's the beginning of the eyebrows, and you can always use one side or the other or both. I use always 2 fingers, which you can choose to do, and just gently tap. The tapping again is a motion that it's a rapid tapping, right? Like so. It's like, tap, 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 tap. The next following point, this is the second point, we're going to the third point, that is the outside of the eye. And where there's a bone right there, right? That you can say where the bone starts, that is exactly our point. It's not too far behind or too close to the eye, that would be hurtful. It's like just in that area. Then we continue under the eye. And under the eye, if you're looking in front of a mirror, it would be just under your iris, right? If you're looking straight ahead, it would be right below. Again, I use 2 fingers, and I can always use one, both, or either. Yeah? The following point is under your nose, and is exactly that, right in the center of your nose, right underneath. That's the point. Now we have one that is a little tricky because it's called a chin point, but it's not on the chin. It's actually under your lower lip in that little valley that we have, and that's exactly where we tap. And we can actually just like really feel it is always in the center. The one that follows is actually the collarbone point. This collarbone point is actually from the little U that we can see over here. It's about a couple of fingers to either side. Some people actually like creating a fist and tapping on both at the same time, and that's going to vibrate my voice. Or you can actually tap it with both hands or either, right? The following point is actually under the arm, but it's not necessarily in your armpit. It's actually about 4 fingers below the crease of your arm and your body. So it's right about here. Yes? A lot of people that cannot cross their body on one side or the other, again, I always invite them to actually make a little point with their thumb. And if you actually make go like this, you hit that point. And I love it because it makes you look like a little chicken, the chicken dance. So there you go. And the one that follows under the arm is actually the wrist point. Again, it's a little bit tricky because if we were to flex our wrist and we create that crease, it's not right there, even though it's called the crease point, it's actually about 2 fingers below. And that is exactly where we're tapping. And that's the wrist point. Now continuing with that one, we have the carotid point, which is the side of the arm. The point is exactly halfway from the crease of your pinky finger and your wrist. It would be just in the middle. Again, for different, for simple purposes, I actually use my 4 fingers most of the time. And one of the things that I like doing as well is using both hands. I'm hitting both points. I'm creating a little bit of a butterfly. So those are our tapping points. Again, this is called the carotid point. Top of the head, beginning of the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, the chin point, which is under the lip, collarbone, under the arm, wrist, and your carotid point. This is actually how and where to tap, and I'll catch you on the next video. If you like this video, I invite you to click on the like button and subscribe to my channel, where you would get the latest videos on fabulous tips and techniques to have a wealthy business inspired in your soul calling. Leave a comment or a question. I love hearing from you and I will answer. And if you are feeling frustrated, confused, or overwhelmed, I invite you to sign for my video mini course, where I will show you how to actually step off the overwhelmed train and feel inspired, empowered, and on fire about manifesting the life and the business you truly love. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.